revenge, it's burning, rising slow and quiet in the deep. No sunrise, no sunset down here. The only way to track time? The glow of the moss on the ceiling. Light, dark, light, dark. I slept harder than I ever had in my life. When I finally came to, something rough and barbed was scraping me awake. I cracked my eyes open, still half out of it. My face was on fire. Right in my face, this massive, soaking wet tongue covered in tiny little spines. That was Mom's good morning kiss. See, for Earth dragons, licking your young isn't just about keeping them clean. It boosts circulation and helps harden their scales. It's literally how they raise their kids. But me? I came out early. Soft skin, no scales. This felt like getting scrubbed with steel wool. On my face. I shoved her leg away. Earth dragon milk heals like crazy. That near-death feeling from before, gone. My broken ribs were knitting back together. That satisfying, tingly itch of healing. Crack! Then a massive head slammed straight into my side. I rolled twice. Looked up, right into my big bro's crossed eyes. The other two brothers crowded in, showing off like idiots, looking at me like I was some kind of exotic pet. In their eyes, I was this tiny little thing with no scales, no armor, soft as a snail without its shell. The heck you looking at? Never seen a good-looking guy before? I snapped. Opened my mouth and let out the most ferocious roar I could manage. What came out was the world's saddest little puppy whimper. Big bro got excited and tried to bat me around like a ball. Enough. Mom let out a low growl, swept the troublemakers aside, signaled me to follow. Today was free roam day. First survival lesson for the pups. I followed behind Mom and squeezed out through that tight little crack in the rock. The underground cavern stretched out in front of me, massive, jaw-dropping. Glowing mushrooms the size of houses, tangled up with red vines that pulsed like veins. Something was shrieking in the distance, a constant reminder. This place is a war zone. Gurgle! Mom stopped. Slapped her tail on the ground, hunt signal. All three brothers bolted straight for the rock rats in the rubble zone. Total chaos. They were just crashing around, wrecking ball style. Zero technique. I wasn't about that primitive nonsense. I melted into the shadows, eyes locked on one clever little rat. He was scanning for an exit. The second he made his move, my eyes narrowed, the whole world slowed down. The Eye of Time, a bloodline ability, dynamic vision, kicked in. I launched, a red lightning bolt through the air. A sound midair, perfect landing. Napster's baby teeth straight through his spine. One shot. I stood on the body and licked the corner of my mouth. All three brothers stared, frozen. That look of disrespect in Big Bro's eyes turned into straight up respect. Then everything changed. Hundreds of black limbs burst out of the ground. Mom exploded, roaring. She stepped in front of me, staring them down. Black scorpions, tier 1, pack hunters, surging in like a black tide. In seconds, Mom's back was crawling with them. She was writhing in pain, and more of the swarm was closing in on us pups. Damn it, running was easy. Just slip into a crack and go. But I looked at Big Bro, shielding me. I looked at that spine, torn up and bleeding, all to protect us. That warm milk, that rough morning kiss, man. I'm a crimson dragon. I locked eyes on the stalactite column above, the one barely holding on. Big Bro, hit that one, that pillar right there! I screamed. Big Bro looked at me, caught by the fire in my eyes. He roared and charged the pillar with everything he had. Boom! It collapsed, crushed hundreds of scorpions and sealed off the source all at once. Mom grabbed me in her jaws and the whole family sprinted back to the territory, wind rushing past my ears. I watched the scorpion swarm fade in the distance. Nothing in my chest but dread. Too weak. This family, me, all of us, way too weak. I looked down at my tiny little red claws. The fire in my eyes burned harder. Devour. I need to devour more. My fangs. My real fangs. They're starting to show. 1 month later, I was the most ruthless predator in the whole territory. The dull red scales had shed, replaced by black and red armor hard as iron. Right now I'm perched on a high rock, gums aching and itching. New teeth breaking through, cold gleam on every tip. Cricky, I spat out a bloody baby tooth. But something was off. The dungeon had gone dead quiet. Even the sonic bats had vanished. Tier 1 creatures were stampeding upward in droves. I scanned the area, uneasy. Everything's migrating. This isn't migration. This is something running from a king that's about to arrive. Mom was clawing the ground, restless. Her amber eyes were wide with fear. As an Earth-type beast, she'd felt it. Something deep underground. Something massive. She barked at me once, "Move, everyone, now!" But it was already too late. Freeze. Seismic alert. From the front of the territory, a savage, bloodthirsty roar. A massive dark shape crashed through the glowing plants. The apex predator of Dungeon Floor 4, the blood-maned savage lion. But this 3-tier peak boss had a shattered front leg, fur torn off, running for its life. It crashed into our territory, blind with terror, completely feral. It was charging straight at the den. Run! Get the brothers out! Mom let out a roar, no hesitation. She threw her whole body right into the lion's path. Boom. Tear pressure from a carnivore apex is no joke. The lion's claws raked across Mom's shoulder and tore open a gash, bone deep. Ah! Mom cried out. I ducked behind a boulder, head ice cold. Mom loses and we all die. I zeroed in on the lion's shattered front leg, that open wound. A red-black blur tore through the air. I bared my brand new fangs, going for the kill. I drove straight into that bloody mess of a wound, shredding the fractured main bone like it was nothing. That hit paralyzed the lion, locked it up. Mom seized the moment. Her tail came down like a wrecking ball right on its skull. Her fang followed through, straight through its head. Lion dropped. I was covered in blood, draped over the body. I spat out a mouthful of blood. We won. Mom gently licked the top of my head, but I was staring hard into the darkness the lion had run from. Whatever drove a 3-tier apex to madness, it's still in there. A cold, dead gaze was cutting through the dark, landing right on us. That was true, absolute dread. The kind that freezes the air itself, even dust couldn't move. I felt Mom's muscles lock up and trembling hard. Her growl dropped into something I'd never heard before, a whimper. That's the sound prey makes when it looks up and sees the thing at the top of the food chain. A massive hand, black fur, long fingers, reached out from the dark. It rested casually on a stone pillar 3 men couldn't wrap their arms around. One casual touch, solid rock crumbled to dust. Stepping out of the shadows, an 8-meter giant. A ground-hunting magic ape. Tier 5, no question. Muscles like granite, dragging a bone club still dripping with flesh. But the scariest part, those eyes, sharp, smart, and absolutely merciless. Sizing us up like we were toys. Run! That was the only word left in my head. This wasn't even close to the same league. Mom let out a piercing shriek, spun around, shoved all 3 stunned pups toward the escape tunnel. Grrk! She locked eyes with me. Go, now. But the ape was fast. It swung that bone club, casual flick, and the air just tore open. Boom! Boulders came down. Hundreds of tons of rock sealed the tunnel in an instant. Way out, gone. The shockwave sent me flying.